Guys, y'all, what a way to start out a Monday morning, right? Oh, I had to go get my dog that my stepdad left. And sometime we have a long lane that we live down, a couple other houses, people that live there, and sometimes our dogs follow us. And they're not supposed to. And the collars weren't working we have a shock collar on them. And doesn't work, especially when they're that far away. So, what a morning. What a way to start out the day. Let's see. Well, good news. This is like my first official live. I've done 4 lives, but this one I'm going today from 9 to 10. And I am maybe 9:10 to 10:10 because of that whole thing. But thank you for sticking along. I'm just gonna write in here. Thanks. Say hi. Let me know where you're at. Join in on the discussion. Whew. Wow. It's just good news, continuation. As I said, I was going to get 2 screens, and now I have my laptop and I have a screen up here. So that's nice. That's a nice. And today I wanted to give a little bit more of a format. Actually, I might talk at the beginning a little bit about some stuff going on, but I wanted to go through saved videos on my phone, and warning, I don't remember what any of them are. So I know there are a lot of conspiracies on there. You ever you watch half a video? This is how, I don't want to label myself ADHD, but this is how mindless I could be sometimes. I'll watch half a video and then I'll be like, I can't watch the rest, I'll save it. And it's not that I can't watch the rest, it's that I just want to go on to the next one. Anyone else? Yeah. I think one thing, I'm going to post a video, it's scheduled for social media, YouTube, everything, about my emotional dependence on AI, on ChatGPT specifically. Where I would go to it for questions or decisions or things like that. And with that being said, I'm just a human. I'm just a messy human. And it's sometimes kind of embarrassing coming out and saying that type of stuff, that I'm a messy human and these are these things that I do as a messy human, when a vast majority of the internet is just I'm perfect. A vast majority of the internet is so easy to judge and give advice for things that you don't care to give advice for. And so sometimes it's just hard out here being a messy human. Does everybody want everyone else to be robots? I don't know. But I yeah, I'm just gonna stick to it. I'm just gonna stick to the messy humanness, because what else can I do? I actually think people appreciate seeing that, because sometimes people are like, thank God. Thank God someone is out there and they are just as messy as I am. They are just, they have as many mistakes as I do. They are embarrassed about so many things they do too. And it's not like I'm going to tell, my bathroom secrets to the world or anything, but there are some things that I feel inclined to share because I just want to share them, but I feel like other people will benefit from hearing them as well. So that's why I be a little messy. That's why. But okay, I want to get into these saved videos that I have. It's so funny. I have my other screen up here. I have my laptop screen here. I have my phone here. And all of them have my face and video on it. And all of them are at different parts of the video. It's like I'm in love with myself or something. But okay, let's go to these screen share videos. Let's get on Instagram. Saved. Okay, again, I don't really know. These are just posts. This looks interesting. So let me screen share this. Google Chrome, all posts, Instagram. Okay, here we go. So let's this may be hard for me. I do 2 times speed a lot on these videos, and now we're just gonna be watching them with the regular speed. But let's see.
There's a lot going on right now, isn't there? I just mean the sky. False flag shooting, United States. Staged event. Power, control, manipulation. Maintain the deception. A royal visit. A related president.
I don't know what happened there.
A related president who's just signed an executive order linking the biometric system with a financial system. Your bank account's going to be linked to a biometric scannable system.
The more I learn about all of this stuff, I realize how much of a ruse, I think that's the right word, how much of a deception all of this is. Trump campaigned for immigration, and right, they had a whole storyline about this. Oh, murder, they're killing, they're dangerous. And I'm not doubting that. I'm not dismissing that. But it seems like this is why. Seems like this is why they are doing that. They were doing that. They continue to do that. And to get, we need to make sure we know who's a citizen. And so we need to get their biomarkers for everything to make sure for everyone else's safety. That's when that's when it's not actually for our safety, is when they say it's for our safety. No, not that at all. It's for their agenda. So it just makes everyone who voted for him, who rooted for him, who defended him, look like an idiot. And I'm one of those people who looks like an idiot, but that's maybe to everyone else. I understand that people make mistakes, that I make mistakes, that we are able to be deceived. Like, if I'm able to be deceived by a politician in that way, other people are able to be deceived by thinking that the weight loss drugs, what are those called? Ozempic and these other new ones, that's also a deception. Or stories in the media of a lot of stories of the war, why we should be doing it, or certain celebrities or public figures, stories around them. Deception. Erica Kirk, Charlie Kirk. Deception everywhere. And so it's like everybody's getting deceived now. Everybody is being kind of put in this box to be deceived. They're trying to deceive us now. And now where I'm at, where I'm no longer with the side, where I am like just with humankind for real. And I think most humans are generally good. And so I'm on the side of humankind. And it's a little harder nowadays for me to be deceived because I'm just questioning everything, literally. But let's keep going with this.
How do you feel about that? Revelation 13 vibes much? And they would not be able to buy or sell without taking the mark. Here it comes. And the royal visit. Interesting. Who is Charles? Ever checked out his imagery? His royal coat of arms is very interesting when you start studying it. He might not be the man of lawlessness, doomed to destruction. Might be. But their ties with the Rothschilds and all the financiers and the bankers, that system is rising. The control system is being driven, even as we speak. Being driven will come to fruition, and people will subscribe to it. Everything's going to be linked. Under the skin technology.
At least some corporations and governments will be able to systematically hack all the people. We are now hackable animals.
Changing your DNA, linking you to the Internet of Things, making you a transmitter, essentially. It can be hacked, as Yuval Noah Harari likes to say. Hackable humans.
We are now hackable animals.
And we shall be like gods. The Antichrist system. Turning away from God, becoming one. Oh, you will be sorry. But for those of us who've received Jesus Christ as Lord and Savior, there's nothing to fear. You're covered by the blood. When that time comes, it'll be time to fly. Doesn't matter what's going on in the world at that point. Just as Noah was protected from the flood, you're going to be protected from the wrath of God as he redeems the earth. Because this earth is ours. Because it belongs to him. and we are seated in heavenly places with the King of Kings. Your inheritance, it's beyond unbelievable. We who are far from perfect, for all have fallen short of the glory of God. And yet because of what Jesus has done, we come into everything. How amazing is He? How amazing is He? Get to know Him.
For whoever stayed through that whole video, I applaud you. There were so many times where I'm like, okay, next, okay, pause, okay. And just with the last bit, he said, like, I follow this guy, and, you know, he's very much into Jesus Christ and Christianity, and I'm not against it at all. I'm good for him, and, you know, I think I don't necessarily like some of the language. It's like, you'll be sorry. But us who accepted JC as our Lord and Savior, we good. We good. I'm not a fan of that language. Even if it is true, I guess. But maybe it's just like, oh, well, you're just afraid of the truth. I don't know, maybe. Maybe. But I don't like the shaming language. But very interesting, the points he brought up. Also, I didn't share coffee this morning. It says Bismarck Public Schools. I have no idea where we got this. And also, I don't like the feeling of, like, the chalk. So I just touched that, and it kind of gave me... But today is just black coffee. Today is just black. No sweetener. I tasted it. There was some on the pot. It was still a little warm, and I tasted it. I was like, this actually tastes good. So, black coffee today. But let's go into the next one. You know, I'm pretty much open to all sorts of ideas, whether Jesus Christ or Yeshua. I get some of those. And yeah, I feel like I've constructed my algorithm pretty good. And there are some videos sometimes that I watch on YouTube, like Amala Ekupondi. I don't know how to say her name. But I love her. Amala or Amala. I think it's Amala. But a lot of times she has like videos of like triggering TikToks, like leftist TikToks. And again, I'm not with the left versus right type of thing, but there are leftists, like people who claim leftism. And I don't get those on my algorithm anymore. Like, thank God, because she's right. It does trigger me. It does trigger me with a lot of mental illness, I guess. But let's go to the next one. Okay, screen share. This one.
I may have accidentally outed myself and told everybody that I was a friggin' cuckoo bird at my Bible study tonight. We were talking about in the Bible where it says in Revelations that when Jesus comes, he's going to descend, blah, 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 okay? They were all talking about, oh, well, how could the whole world possibly see when Jesus descends? And I was like, first of all, he's Jesus. Second of all, I have a theory, and their theories were all things like, oh, well, we have like Starlink and everybody's going to get it broadcasted to their phone. And I was like, that flip it and reverse it, babe. I have a theory. I said, let's just say, for argument's sake, that the world is flat. And they immediately looked at me like I was crazy. I said, it's just a theory.
Theory.
I said, let's say if, okay, because back then, The world was flat to them. Okay, this is years and years and
How would
years.
you know?
We're not talking 200 years ago. We're not talking 500 years. We're talking thousands of years ago. Okay, the world was flat to them. So in theory, if we're talking about what they believed in the Bible, the way it was written, okay, there is one center point at the top of the firmament where the entire world can see if he came down in that specific spot. I'm just saying, there's a good possibility that if the Bible is truth and you believe it as truth like I do, right? And you believe the parts of the Bible that say firmament, and you believe the parts of the Bible that say four corners of the earth, and you believe the parts of the Bible that literally lay it all on the table, that back then they 100% believed the earth was flat, okay? I'm not saying you have to believe it now, I'm just saying. In theory, there is the very tippity top of that dome where if Jesus descended right there from all flat earth pieces of land, we would all be able to see him. I'm just saying, it's a theory. And they were like, okay, so, and I'm like, I'm not allowed to have a theory. It makes sense, right? Like, it makes sense. Back then, they believed that. Back then, they wrote about it. It's in the Bible. Back then, they say God descends from one spot and we can all see him. I'm just saying it makes sense, okay? That's all I'm saying. That theory makes sense. I might have...
So I liked a couple comments over here. How do people believe the Bible and not believe the firmament? It's firmament. Not spelled right. And so silly to think God needs our technology for us to see him. For this first comment, that's what I was thinking while she was talking, and like while she said, you know, let's just have a theory of the earth is flat, and then everybody's like, what? Crazy. And that is crazy. When you are studying the Bible as truth, I just assume maybe these people aren't like first time Bible readers. Like they're not just like, hey, I've heard about this Bible thing. Like, let's check it out and see what it's all about. I feel like this Bible study group is people who have read the Bible, people who just want to dig a little deeper, have discussion about it. And so it's wild that when somebody literally quotes the Bible, but it's also known as a conspiracy theory, that people are like, and that's how, again, let's just step into the reality that the Bible is real, is truth, is what Christians, you know, real Christians say it is. That is how programmed humans are for when somebody says something from the Bible that's also known as a conspiracy, they're like, right? Because if they weren't programmed, if they were actually in truth and living truth, then they'd be like, yeah, okay, go ahead. And I don't think it hurts, too, I mean, this is after I say, you know, those triggering posts of leftists don't come up on my feed anymore. I like hearing new theories. I like being open. I say with the moon and landing on the moon, I'm 99% sure that we didn't either time. 99% sure. Because I always want to keep a little bit open just to hear other people. But there are some people who are like, I am 100% sure. I am 110% sure. And so it leaves no room for discussion. Which is just what, you know, what this woman was going through. So it is, and it's unfortunate too, because now will she feel comfortable going back to that Bible study group? Because I remember I was doing stand-up in Atlanta, And I went to an open mic, and this is when I started getting a little bit more open with my political thoughts and societal thoughts. And I made fun of, or really I just asked a question of the LGBTQIA2S plus. It's even bigger now. So the alphabet people, right? Gay people, which I'm a part of. But I said, what is this? What is this entire alphabet of stuff? And 2S, like there's a 2 in the the gay alphabet now. It's not even gay. It's identity. It's not even sexuality anymore. It's identity. But there's a 2 and there's a number in it now. They just opened it up to numbers. And like the L's didn't agree to this. You know? And so what is 2S? Two-spirited comes from Native Americans. And, you know, when they don't think... Here's the thing. There is no, like, English word for two-spirited. Like, I remember doing research on this because I was going to tell a joke about it and because I wanted to kind of explain it to people. But there's no word in the English language that describes two-spirited. And I asked, I was like, so 2S means two-spirited, comes from Native Americans, and now it's put in this LGBTQIA thing. Hey, I'm just seeing your chats now. What's up, Muhammad? Hey, I appreciate that. And Delaney, you're for real. Two-spirited is wild. But I said, is this inclusion? Or is this appropriation? Because I'm telling you, LGBTQIA+, that's American shit right there. Right? That's American made up. That's American language. You go down to Africa, I don't know if they have any LGs or Bs or Ts. I don't know. But you ask them, and they're going to be like, what? It's an American thing. So now they're bringing this Native American who, you know, a lot of the people from the alphabet community, they're Native American. We want to be very delicate with that. We're on their land. Right? And so now they're just like, hey, come on, two-spirited. Come on, two spirits. And Native Americans are like, leave us alone. Leave us alone. But circling it back around, this woman, she may not feel safe going back to their Bible study. I didn't feel safe going back to doing stand-up after that, after just asking a question. Just having a question, is two-spirited within the alphabet community? Is it inclusion? Is it appropriation? Simple question. And then everybody was like, oh, what is this L doing? People were like, it's both. It's both. I'm like, how can it be both? Inclusion and appropriation. How can it be both? And that was, I think maybe I went one other time to an open mic, but I remember the host coming up afterwards telling me I was mentally ill because I asked a question. Like, I'm the one who's mentally ill, okay? And then all of the other, I remember all of the other stand-ups. You know, you get off stage, you walk to the back, all the other stand-ups are back there, and none of them would look at me. None of them. They were just like, I know they talk shit about it after. I know. But let's go to the next one. Let's go to the next video. I need to unsave these two because, well, I mean, I need to unsave them so they don't get, because I have so many
I might have accidentally.
saved. Okay, so this this one's kind of a funny. It's not funny. But the format is funny. Here we go.
Why did the new Michael Jackson movie spend millions cutting out the years that made him impossible to sell clean?
Because it's a biopic. They wanted to focus on the music.
No, Brian, this is exploitation in pure form. At first, they sold Michael as Scandal, and now they sell Michael as a clean legend. A different product, same machine.
Destroy the man while he's alive. Polish the statue when he's dead.
Exactly, you tiny catalog gremlin. Look at the facts. Michael comes out in 2026. Gilfar Jackson plays his uncle. Huge commercial event. But the final film ends in 1988, before the 1993 child abuse allegations. Before the legal war, before the years that split the world in half.
So they made a Michael Jackson movie and stopped before the Michael Jackson problem? Giggity.
Exactly. Earlier versions included material around the 1993 case. Scenes connected to a Neverland police raid existed.
The car in the background is so distracting.
And lawyers found the problem. An old settlement clause involving Jordan Chandler. So the hard part got removed. 22 days of reshoots. Around $10 to $15 million. Not to find the truth, to reshape the product.
So truth got expensive, and nostalgia with cliffhanger had better margins.
That's not just editing. That's memory management.
But where does the he became dangerous part come in?
2002, Michael publicly went after Sony and Tommy Mottola. When he talked about record labels exploiting artists, he pointed at ownership, catalogs, royalties, and control. That's not celebrity gossip. That's an artist pointing at the money pipe.
When an artist owns publishing, he isn't just talent, he's leverage.
Exactly. And when Michael became inconvenient, the attacks got louder. The weird label got louder. The suspicion got louder. Because if people see you as unstable, they don't listen when you point at the money.
So they didn't beat the message, they poisoned the messenger.
Exactly. Then in 2003, Martin Bashir gets months of access. Living with Michael Jackson airs in the UK and America. Michael says it distorted him. Then he releases the footage you were never meant to see. The scandal became an economy.
And they made money on the wound? That's not giggity.
Then came 2005, a full criminal trial. The courtroom had fake witnesses, jury, and the verdict, not guilty on all counts.
So the court cleared him, but the public never did?
Because a courtroom needs evidence. The media only needs repetition, and repetition makes suspicion immortal. That was the first product, suspicion. And now the second product is nostalgia. Clean costumes, clean music, clean ending, clean legend.
Ownership of the catalog, ownership of the story, ownership of the memory.
But if they make a second movie, will they finally tell the truth?
Maybe, but ask the darker question. Will they tell it because truth matters? Or because his name is becoming profitable again? And if they ignore the hard years, they sell nostalgia. And if they include the hard years, they sell controversy. Either way, if Michael Jackson for them is still the product. If truth hurts the box office, cut it, reshoot it, polish it, release it, and call it tribute.
And so the question isn't whether the movie loves him or hates him.
Exactly. The question is, who controls the version? Because the same machine that fed on his destruction is now feeding on his resurrection. And if part two sells the truth only when it becomes profitable, then it still isn't truth. It's just another product. And both times, the real Michael was bad for business.
Why did the new Michael Jackson movie spend...
Okay, so that was a lot of information at one time. And it was just fast. It was just fast. But there were a couple things in there. I mean, one, the wild that the court saw him as not guilty on all the papers, not guilty, but he is still condemned by the public. And yeah, you know what they said, the court needs evidence, most courts, and they didn't have it. So thank goodness for the judge, I guess, you know, following through with that, or the jury or whoever. I don't know who's corrupt and who's not. But yeah, but the public, all you need is that continued coverage of scandals and you can be torn down. Literally, like, you could lose, you know, deals. Not because you're guilty in the court of law, because you're guilty in the people's court. Which, who are the people to condemn someone who doesn't have the evidence? That's the thing. It's people's court. You don't need evidence. It's just talk, right? And I have a theory. I have a theory that nostalgia is a psyop. Haven't you seen the push for nostalgia lately? Like, I see, you know, older people like my age, like millennials, you know, buy like Powder Puff backpacks or, you know, Pokemon. I mean, my brothers love Pokemon, and it's not nostalgia for them, it's current life. But I think nostalgia is a thing because when you... There's this line going in the light. Because with nostalgia, people get very attached to that because, you know, emotionally, it takes them back to their childhood. Right? When everything was better. When they didn't have to pay bills. When they didn't have student loans. Where they didn't have to think about rent. They didn't have to think about relationships. They didn't have to think about chronic illness. Like, a time when it was better. And I think that is a push to get away from the current reality, which, like, sometimes who doesn't want to get away from the current reality? I get it. But it's like in The Power of Now with Eckhart Tolle. He says that, you know, these people like Hitler, okay, they always promise a better future, right? And I think Trump did that, like, make America great again. They always promise this better and this brighter future, but that means we have to have a current hell, right? Because why would we want a better future if our present was good? We're like, yeah, cool, better future, cool, but like we good now, you know? But now is like a current hell, so we're like, yes, a better future, please. Or let's dissociate and let's take ourselves back to the nostalgic times. And hey, I'm guilty of it too. I mentioned the other day on a live, I was listening to a Nickelback, the greatest hits playlist. And then it went into other like 2000s artists. So like, and it's because I watched a video on why Nickelback was the most hated band and how that was all a psyop. Everything's a psyop. But then that got me into listening to that music, and now all I want to do is listen to that music. But yeah, I think nostalgia is a psyop. What you guys think? And especially with these movies, first of all, you see a movie made in Hollywood about something real, you know that it has a specific purpose behind the movie to create a specific narrative to continue, right? It's just like the JFK Jr. Love story I talked about the other day. Like, they want to push a certain narrative for that. Possibly that that guy is actually dead, you know? There are theories and stories. There's theories and stories about him not being dead and him actually being in the Love Story show. There's definitely a lot to be said about nostalgia. I know, there is. And, like, I'm caught in the middle of it because I like it. But I've also just noticed, right, this push for it. And anytime there's a push for something by corporations, the media, and everything, forget about it. It's a psyop. Let's go to the next video. Let's see. Here's another conspiracy theory, I believe.
I've got a fun conspiracy theory for you guys. So we know that the reason clowns have that red around their mouth is because they were eating people. It's to symbolize blood around their mouth. They said that's what the Nephilim looked like because they were eating people, allegedly. So that is why clowns look like that. I was recently watching a YouTube video, Family Channel, that I really love. They went on a fun road trip. On one of the stops they made, it was the first McDonald's ever. They show you a photo of what the first Ronald McDonald looked like. Creepy, right? Ooh. That's when it all hit me. I was like, That conspiracy theory about them selling human meat in the, like, all the freaking fast food joints, it's all like human meat. Their freaking mascot is a clown with red around his mouth. How funny is that? They also talk about these Nephilim might have been like, they talk about redheaded giants a lot. Y'all can look this stuff up. And that redheaded giants were eating people too. And Wendy's? Let me know what you guys think. I've got a fun
You know, that sucks because when I heard about McDonald's like 3 months ago from Delaney, thank you for sending me that YouTube. Thank you, or maybe not, because now I don't eat McDonald's anymore. After I stopped eating McDonald's, I was driving from New York to back home, and I was like, all right, here's a Wendy's. And the whole video of the McDonald's CEO eating a McDonald's burger, right, and then kind of like spitting it out into his napkin. And then all of the other like burger CEOs came out, and I'm pretty sure the Wendy's guy was like, and I'm like, okay, you know, Wendy's is cool. So I got Wendy's on the way on my road trip. I wasn't like super thrilled about it, but there was nothing at the gas station that was connected to it. That's how you know you should just probably fast. If there's nothing in the gas station and then you got to go to the fast food place that's connected to it, maybe just fast. Maybe you just don't need to eat. So it's a bummer that Wendy's is also in the possibly, allegedly, in the cannibalism game. But this is one of the videos that I watched like halfway through the other day because I drove past a McDonald's and I thought of the red around the face, which makes so much sense because why is the red so far off of their lips? Right? Like that first one's like that. Why? You missed the lips. You're just trying to make a bigger smile? Is that it? It's just like, I just need a bigger smile, and the red accentuates the bigger smile. I don't know. No, it's probably because of blood. Of blood. See, it's gross. I'm going to share this. There's some comments of like, don't forget about Ronald's red shoes and the meaning behind red shoes. It's when they flay and torture children, the blood drips down onto their shoes, but since it's red, they blend in. Red Shoe Club. I know, what is it? What's the bottom of the shoe that's red? Oh, it's a red bottom. Red bottom shoes. Christian Louboutin. Louboutin. Something about that ain't right. Something about that ain't right. Yeah, the way it was just a documentary. Oh. Yeah, right. The red, I've never watched it because, as I've mentioned, I don't watch scary movies like that. Bad vibes. And one thing I want to say, it says cannibalism is only illegal in Idaho. Let me see. While no single federal law explicitly bans the act, it is illegal in all 50 states via murder or corpse desecration laws. Idaho is the only state with a specific statute against it. Interesting. It says, the 2004 Human Tissue Act prohibits the possession of human tissue without consent. Okay. Oh, I wanted to say, it says the way it was just a documentary. I posted a video on social media that was like, I don't want to watch shows about murder, about sex, drugs, about teenagers doing bad stuff. Just, I don't want this low vibe stuff. And to be fair, I watch Psych, which is a comedy crime show. And so there are people who get shot, and when that happens, I don't like it. So it's not like it's completely out of my life, but I posted a video about that, and it's like, I didn't want this. I didn't ask for this. Who's asking for this? And it's so crazy, the people who got triggered by me saying, I don't want this. And they're like, well, you should just stop watching it. I'm like, I don't watch this stuff, but as a consumer, am I able to request it? Aren't we as consumers the demanders? But now it's turned around, and now the big corporations are the ones who are creating demand and the ones who are supplying it. And we're just sitting there like, yeah, I asked for this. Oh, I wanted to watch the documentary about that serial killer who eats his victims. I don't even remember his name. Jeffrey Dahmer. Like, who demanded that? I didn't. But it's like all these people were commenting, well, you should just stop watching it. Blah, blah, blah. Are they the ones that are sending messages to these studios being like, give me the murder? Entertainment got people under spells. You're right. Well, we were just talking about, Delaney, the broadcast, like television. So I have a video coming out on Wednesday that I made for What in the Fuck Land 2 years ago, October 2024, that I never released because I had started releasing other videos, but it's about television, and it's about war, television and movies, entertainment. It's about war, it's about true crime, it's about, Delaney, I know you watch true crime. It's about all of this kind of negative energy entertainment, and so make sure to watch that. It's good. Did some research for it, but in that I talk about television, right? Programming, and then I just thought the other day, or maybe was reminded of broadcast, with cast being a spell, and broad, to everyone. Everyone's getting it now. So that's it. But yeah, people got like so triggered that I was like, I don't want murder in a show. And they're like, why not? Why are you weird? You don't want murder in a show. Somebody was even like, go and watch that your Christian entertainment then. Go watch the Christian TV and movies. And it's like, I don't have anything against that, but I don't watch Christian shows like that. Just because I don't want movies and entertainment TV shows with murder and violence and underage sex, or just general sex, like, and drugs, just because I don't want that doesn't mean that, I'm only going to watch Christian shows. No, I just don't want fucking murder. My God. Dude, Delaney, people are crazy. Hi, Lulu. It's a baby dog. Okay, let's go to another video. I have maybe like two or three videos.
This is all alleged and for education and entertainment purposes only. You like connecting the dots? Come along. You know the shooting that just took place?
Yep.
Okay. Apparently, there's a man named Henry Martinez who posted on X in 2023. He just did one post, December of 2023. Can you guess what that one post would be? 2 words, a name, Cole Allen, which is the name of the shooter that just attempted to assassinate Trump at the Correspondence Center. Okay. Track me. Henry Martinez was a chief engineer at Lockheed Martin. In 2014, he co-authored an article at the Goddard Space Center. Essentially, he was talking a lot about space, possible UAP, possible time travel. Okay. Also, in 2014, Cole Allen was interning at the same location where he was co-authoring. So that was 2014. Fast forward to 2023, Henry Martinez does one tweet, Cole Allen, nothing else. That's a little weird. Now, the other thing that's a little weird is the banner on the top of his X account. It looks all kind of pixelated. And if you take it, apparently, allegedly.
Is this still up or is it just?
Yeah, you can look at this. You can look this up. So apparently, allegedly, if you look up timemachine.eu, this picture is up. Now, apparently, if you put it pixelated backwards, I don't know the right terminology, but if you put it, if you like undistort it, because it's all pixelated, you undistort it, it looks like an uncanny resemblance of the photo of Trump right during the attempt in Pennsylvania. Now, a news station was like, we interviewed the creator of that pixel, and he said that that's not what that is. And I'm like, okay. But like, why are these connections with Henry Martinez and Cole Allen? Oh, that news channel also said, well, there's a lot of Cole Allens, but not necessarily a Cole Thomas Allen. And you're like, okay. Now,
there's a Cole Allen. And that's also how I think of these people. Also, Delaney, yes, it's conditioning people to normalize all that stuff. Exactly. I mean, I talk about, in the video on Wednesday that I'm going to post, I talk about superhero movies and how I'm not a super fan of superhero movies because the destruction of these cities that you see it's exactly that. It's normalizing these things. And so you see the destruction from a Fantastic Four movie, and you're like, oh, that's a lot of destruction. Then what's happening in Gaza right now, where it's complete destruction, you're like, oh yeah, it's happening right now. That's just one thing. Okay, let's continue.
Odd connections with time travel. Also, allegedly, the connections with Barron Trump and time travel, because we know that there are old books from the 1800s, allegedly, of a boy named Barron who was bored in his castle. His dad was the last president, lived in Trump Tower. There's also a sketch in these books. Like, there are a couple of books, I guess, but there's a sketch of in the tower. There's a sketch, and it has the number 45 and 47. So is the common theme time travel? And does it connect to all of these scientists that we were just talking about? This is all alleged and for education.
That's like this Barron Trump book thing is very interesting, especially when after Charlie Kirk got shot, right? Like the next day it was released a book, but it said the book was released the day before, saying that he would get the assassination of Charlie Kirk, I think was the name of it. And everybody's like, oh, how did they say, how did they predict that? And then people were like, oh, well, you can put the publishing date to whenever. So sometimes with AI, and it's like, okay, how can we confirm that this book actually came out in the 19th century and it's not just some AI type thing right now? Because that is crazy. Barron Trump, it looks like him, literally looks like him. And the 45 and the 47 is wild. And then going back to the initial one, the pixelation of Trump's, ear assassination. Somebody posted a video the other day saying this photo was staged, and everybody in the comments was like, yeah, you're a little late to that. And I didn't understand how it was staged. But the shots, I saw the video the guy played, the shots go out, two shots, I guess, and then like Trump gets out and he's like this, and right at that same time photographers are getting ushered in, and it's like, is that the best time to bring a photographer in when shots are going off? I don't think so. Not the best time. Maybe stay back. Maybe use your Zoom, right? But supposedly, allegedly, I haven't looked into this further. I just saw a comment that the photographer of this photo, of the iconic Trump photo, the photographer is the same as the person who, when 9/11 happened, photographed George Bush in the classroom. So, or like being told, that 9/11 happened. Again, I don't know how true that is, but realizing that picture was staged, at the time I didn't believe it. At the time, I was like, wow, that was close, right? Like, it is crazy though, because I don't know about Trump's ear and the bleeding and all of that. I don't know if that was fake or what, but the guy who actually died from it, that's what it's like. There were real consequences, whereas I think with this, thank God, with this, White House Correspondents' Dinner, there were no true victims. Like, nobody, I think that one of the security people shot off like 4 or 5 rounds, or bullets. I don't know if rounds is the correct term, and I don't know if those were real. I don't know if those could have hit somebody and killed somebody, but there were no true victims in that one, whereas the Pennsylvania shooting, there was a real victim. So sometimes with those things, it's hard to understand if, okay, how much of this was staged and how much of this was real? Because, hey, if we're going to stage something, just don't kill people. Just don't kill people in the process. Sure, deceive us, but don't kill people. And it's like, they don't care. Because what happened? He brought the firefighter uniform to the Republican National Convention, I believe. Right? And that got a whole bunch of media. Oh, so nice. Oh, he dedicated it to this man who lost his life. And it's like, what about this is true? Probably none of it. Okay, let's go through 2 more.
So this is actually pretty insane.
So this is less conspiracy and more of Alex Hormozy. There's this person. Okay, let me see. I need to change the screen. There's this person who's like, you really need to get to the point faster. I'll take it under advisement. I've probably already seen this. Maybe not, but okay. It says both that video plus the Tony interview are now private. So this will make sense if you watched the Tony Robbins interview with Alex Hormozy. I did. I heard a lot of great things about it, and it was good. It was basically like Alex was just like, how do you get satisfied? How do you be happy? Because all he's about is work. And then Tony's like, dude, you have the work ethic of a beast, of a monster in a non-demonic way. And like, you just need to chill a little bit, you know? Like, you obviously have something to prove, but you've proven it. You've proven it. So chill. So that's the context of the whole Tony Robbins interview. It was kind of beautiful, and everyone was like, oh, thank God Alex had this interview, because people were kind of worn out with Alex Hormozy's teachings of just like, work the weekends, work nights, don't sleep, do you want it or not? People were tired of that. And so hearing this big guy like Tony Robbins telling Alex Hormozy, another big guy, to chill, people were like, thank God. So let's see what this video is. I hope it's not a clip of the Tony Robbins interview, because I've already seen it, but let's hear it, and then it might take a little bit because he takes a long time to get to his point. All right, here we go.
And I don't think I've ever seen Alex Hormozy do this, but I saw a video from him yesterday that's really changed the way that I looked at him. And I said, I'm going to make a video about it today. And when I went back to his channel to try to find it, I couldn't find it anymore. And luckily I had sent the video to my fiance. So when I clicked on it, I saw that he moved it private. Now, I want to be crystal clear that I have an utmost respect for Hormozy and Layla. I've been fortunate enough to actually know them before they actually really blew up, and do some work with them. And I have to say that what he's built and what they've done, like, it's inspirational for anybody in the online marketing agency space. That being said, I've always believed, like, if you like somebody and you want to emulate after them, you don't have to pull every single one of their characteristics. And so although I am unbelievably inspired by Hormozy, there were certain elements of his life that I was like, okay, I want some of this, but not other pieces. For example, once I got into the 8-figure net worth range, I realized, like, okay, I could just keep on making more money. And I do personally love the game, which is why I'm still in it. But I knew that I started to want to be a little bit more robust. I wanted to start to play into different areas of my life, like relationships, spiritual, activities, travel, all this other stuff that I knew that would potentially take away from me making more money in business. But I also knew that for me, making more money in business just meant enabling other parts of my life. And if you've been following Hormozy for a while, then you definitely know this interview here where he went on with Tony Robbins. And unfortunately, a lot of people kind of like got upset at him about this, or kind of made fun of him about this, which is just so funny to me, because the haters will always hate. And like, these are two of the most skilled business people on the planet right now. But it was clear that Tony was really challenging a lot of Hormozy's beliefs on work and kids and family and purpose and all that stuff. And you could tell it kind of started to click some things in Hormozy's brain, which is why when he made this now private video talking about, the title was How I'm Changing the Way I Work, talking about how he was going to start putting his personal life first, and he was going to start maybe sleeping better and taking care of his brain better, and focusing on travel and other things that I had always resonated with once I had made a certain amount of money. My mind was blown, and I was like, those two, only like 3 months from each other, they have to be linked somehow. Now, unfortunately, he ended up privating the video, and this could be for a variety of different reasons. I don't know. It could also be because it was pretty against his brand that he's built for the past couple of years, and I know how important his brand is. And so maybe he decided to take it down for whatever reason, but I do think it is an important message for a lot of people watching this. And this is not for the people that are just starting out. Like, I think that you need to definitely hustle your way in order to make some money. But just like me, once you hit a certain net worth, I think it is important for you to take a step back and realize it's easier to keep on working, that you've been trained to do this whole time and have this positive reinforcement loop, than it is to actually figure out what you can do outside of work that will have an impact on your life and the lives of others. So this is actually pretty insane. I don't think I've ever seen Alex Hormozy do that.
Okay, so I mean, I agree with I thank you, sir, for telling us your story, but I think this is a little clickbaity because you never showed us Alex Hormozy's deleted video. Like, I watched the interview, but not this deleted. Okay, so that was slightly annoying. But I appreciate that guy sharing his stuff. Like, because I want to know what he said in that video. I don't think this guy explained it in this video. Okay, well, I don't think anything else for that video.
So this is actually pretty insane. I don't think I've ever
Save that. Go.
This is
Guys, that's about time. It's about an hour in. We did it. Had to start late because the dog ran down the road and I had to get in my car. Literally had to get in my car and go get it. But thank you, everybody, for watching, for commenting. Delaney, my sister. For real, sister. Love you, girl. Thanks, Muhammad, for commenting. And we'll be doing this tomorrow, 9 to 10. Again, Central Standard Time. And maybe we'll go through some more of these saved videos, because I have a lot of them. I'm like a hoarder of saved videos. So, alright. Thanks. Bye.